journey. Joining us now to help, psychotherapist Kelly Kitley. And it's also your birthday today, Kelly. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So let's start with the basics here. For someone who might be thinking about therapy, why should they jump in and how can they go about doing that?
Well, goodness, I wish it was a prerequisite that everybody had to be in therapy for at least a year of their life because we'd be more relatable and empathic. But anybody who is jumping into therapy, it can be a daunting task and can feel overwhelming. I think sometimes the best way to get a referral is through a doctor or a friend or somebody who has had experience, a good experience at that, with a therapist.
There are different types of therapy, I should say. So how do you know which one? I've had people ask me this, like, how do you know where to start?
Yeah. So a lot of times we want to make sure that we're reaching out to a therapist who specializes in what we're looking for treatment for, whether that's anxiety or depression or bipolar disorder. And so there are shorter term models such as cognitive behavioral therapy or dialectical behavior therapy. Exposure therapy is really popular for obsessive compulsive disorder. But then there's also traditional talk therapy where sometimes people just don't necessarily need skill building, but they need to process whether that's loss or a job change or something of that nature.
And a lot of times we fear the unknown. So what should someone expect if they're going into a consultation, and are there questions you should be asking?
Well, absolutely. Usually the consultation will take an hour to 90 minutes, and it is a full history. It is family history. I call it a biopsychosocial. We look at the person and environment, what makes them thrive, where are they struggling. So a family history is really important, as well as any past situations that may have been difficult for somebody to handle.
If you're with somebody and it doesn't feel quite right, like the right fit, is it okay to leave? Is it okay to find somebody else?
I hope so. I think sometimes people stay in a bad therapy relationship for too long because they don't know how to break up with their therapist. We are the ones you can say, this isn't working for me, and not take offense to it and say, great, let me give you a referral to somebody else.
And really briefly here, when I started therapy, it was in person. Since COVID, virtual. That's a big thing now. What should someone expect going into that?
So I think it's been great because it's given people an opportunity to seek weekly therapy, but oftentimes that sacred space that people are used to in person and being able to read body language, it can be different over virtual, but it's so much more convenient. And oftentimes people who live in smaller communities can access care throughout their entire state.
I love that. And that's really what this is all about, finding the care you need.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah. Sometimes we talked about yesterday, it's hard sometimes, but thank you so much, Kelly, for giving us some tips.
Yes, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And thanks for watching. We got a lot